So yeah, we were just yeah, you guys are here. You're from France, and we're wondering like outside perspectives from you know what other countries think about maybe our gun issues here.
Oh wow, that's
Like,
too
how are you-
political. I'm not sure I could answer to this.
How are your gun laws in France? Are they more lax? Are they more strict?
Actually, we were talking about it last time because we didn't know like what is the
Yeah, we don't even know how
gun
restricted it is in France.
Right. But I'm assuming maybe it's not the way it is in America, where you can have a permit and then have a concealed carry. You can't just walk on the street with the gun, right?
No, of
No.
course not. But I guess it's the same here. Actually,
Yeah,
we were
you-
talking about this last time. We're like, are they allowed to walk on the street with the gun?
It depends on what state you are. Here in New York City, right here, you can't even have a knife on you.
Okay.
But if you go upstate more, you can have a permit and you can carry a gun. And then in other states like Alabama, you can have an open carry, which is like you can have a rifle slinged on your back as long as
Okay.
you have the permit.
I think in France it's the same, no? If you have a permit, si t'as un permis, tu
mais c'est
peux
un permis
marcher
de
avec
chasse.
un
Ah,
gun.
pour les armes.
Ouais.
Non, mais si t'as un permis, tu peux pas marcher avec en France. À part si t'as un permis de chasse et que tu vas chasser.
Another question because we don't know.
So you don't so you can have it with a permit in France maybe, right?
Yeah,
Yes,
you can have
because
gun.
her
You
father
can-
has a permit and he has a
Yeah,
gun.
because he go. Comment dire un stand de tir?
He goes and
In a
Hunting?
shooting.
No.
Oh, shooting range.
If
Yes,
you go in a shooting place,
Right.
you can have gun, but you have to obtain a license.
Right.
Ouais,
Yeah.
bah, c'est la même chose.
Okay,
So
so
that's
it's
why
the
we
same
don't-
here.
Yeah,
It's
I
similar
think
here.
it's-
But I think it's not for all the weapons.
Right.
Just for certain weapons. I
Like
think-
hunting rifles or pistols, not
Yeah.
necessarily like a 50, you know, like a 50 caliber gun.
Yeah, it's exactly what we were talking about.
Yeah.
last
Okay,
time.
so
We're
it
like-
seems similar, but it seems like maybe the violence there isn't so, you know, prone. Like we have more mass shootings here.
But I also think it's because you have a bigger country. Like
Right.
we're saying about France that is so small. Like maybe if we could see all Europe,
Right.
we would think that we're like there's
this
more
equivalent
like
country.
Yeah, like
So then if you
all
take-
Europe is like maybe the size of America.
Right.
So when you're talking about your country, it's all over America.
Right.
And sometimes you're just talking about France, about Italy, and we're not seeing like
The whole
what's
picture.
happening. Yeah, in the whole picture.
That's
So-
what most people have been saying. It's like there's a lot of factors that go into this. It's not just the guns that are the problem. It could be the mentality. It could be the mental issues. It could be the population, the rural areas. There's a lot of factors to consider here. But yeah, overall, thank you. I guess I appreciate that. That's you don't get that certain look. Like everybody thinks in America that everybody thinks negatively about us with our guns.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
true.
that's
It's-
true. Everyone
it's
is
true?
thinking- yeah.
And what about, I guess, like King Trump too? Maybe he gets a bad rap.
Trump, il a
Fait une
une
mauvaise
mauvaise
réputation.
réputation.
Ah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
Yeah.
so funny. We always like.
But you guys have Macron, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
Macron.
How's he doing? Is he
I think-
right wing? He's more.
Au début, tout le monde l'aimait, j'ai
She
l'impression, et
says
maintenant, non.
everyone used to love him, and
Yeah.
now he's like losing points.
Yeah, I mean
All
that
the
gets
time.
to happen, especially with corruption and everything. Is his wife like 70 years old?
In France,
Yeah.
it's every 5, 4 ans, 5 ans.
De quoi le mandat?
Ouais.
C'est 5
Non,
ans.
il a
Yeah.
demandé, il a dit sa femme, elle a pas genre 70 ans.
Ah,
Why?
I just say his wife, right? That fun? Yeah, he's got an old wife,
Yeah.
right?
So old, yeah.
All right, well, she keeps him young, I guess then.
Yeah,
but,
for sure.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's all different places everywhere, different problems, and we're just trying to get a view on, like, nobody's really talking about this. And if they are, it's very heated. So it's interesting to get our own views and then, like, outside cultures as well. And maybe there's an answer there somewhere.
Yeah, for sure.
No.
What would you say to somebody on the like opposing viewpoint? What if they feel like that's a slippery slope to maybe banning all guns, and then not being able to defend themselves for when these guns are acquired illegally, as you mentioned before?
Yeah, that's understandable. But in the Bill of Rights, it says that there is a right to own arms,
Right.
and maybe if people are reassured that that's not going to change,
Right.
and if we're not banning guns and we're just placing better restrictions on who can get them.
Yeah.
I feel like that's
I think what they feel is like if those regulations taken place, it's already an infraction.
mental health probably should be the primary focus.
Yeah.
And then
Even with that, a lot of factors like, the pharmaceuticals, the psychoactive drugs, people being affected in ways we don't even understand yet. A lot of these school shooters have been on Prozac, like all these mind-altering, chemicals that they say they were disassociated for the most time too. So that could definitely be.
Oh, really? Okay, I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, a lot of these school shooters, they're like, I didn't even know what I was doing half the time. That's from the school shooters we get that haven't blown out their brains already. Like the ones that we get to talk to. So that could be, again, we're not experts on this. We don't know.
Yeah.
We're just trying to fit the pieces together and get an understanding for what really is the problem here.
Okay.
But I think maybe the mental aspect is a good place to start, and maybe understand gun laws better and where we can work on those. What are people's takes on the gun control issue? It's like there's one way or another, but there doesn't seem to be many answers.
I don't know. I don't really have an opinion on it.
Yeah.
So I definitely think that it's not good for our country for people to just openly have guns.
Right.
But then on the other hand, it's like, well, maybe people need guns to protect themselves from the other people who have guns that are trying to hurt them. But it's like, if you really look at the statistics of it all in Europe, like there's so much less gun violence there. It's insane. I mean, I think it's a lot harder to kill someone with a knife than it is with a gun.
Fair enough.
So, but the problem is that people already have the guns. They've had them for a really long time. They're family heirlooms and stuff, and they've been passed down for generations and bought on the black market, whatever it is.
You just touched on something good. It's like, let's say we went the extreme way of taking everybody's guns. It's like,
Right.
How would we do that without infringing on more rights? Like the Second Amendment is already a right we have.
Right.
The Fourth, then you have the searches and seizures. How would we get those guns? And what would it really guarantee a more safe environment?
I mean, New Zealand did it,
Yeah.
but we're a lot bigger than New Zealand.
Exactly. There's that population problem too.
Right. I don't think it's actually possible. As good of an idea as it could be, it's just not possible to collect every single gun in the U.S. from all the people who have them. It's going to become like alcohol,
Right.
the prohibition of
area.
it.
Then it becomes more like spicy or attractive to have it, and then it's not like the criminals who do own the guns and commit these crimes are getting these legally anyways.
Right.
So it's like, I mean, the gun violence is more the problem rather than the guns
Right.
issue. But the guns do cause the violence, so it's all like intertwined, and there's a lot of factors. But
Maybe it could be like a checkout system, like
Right.
like a rent-a-gun to like go hunting with your buddies.
yeah, and then maybe have it stashed to protect yourself, and when you're done with your like home invasion situation, return it.
Right. I mean, I guess you never really know when someone's going to invade your home, though.
Right.
But I don't know. I think that it's an ongoing issue that has yet to be solved, and I don't see a solution in sight.
Yeah.
But I think the more ideas that people pull together, the better.
Right, like Bernie Sanders was just on Joe Rogan's podcast, and Joe Rogan asked him too, it's like, how do we deal with this? And even he didn't have an answer. So it's like our brightest minds, right, are like confused, and so are we, and we're not going to figure this out right here in like 2 minutes. But I think what's important is maybe if it wasn't so divisive, because we're all emotional about it. Like no one wants to see kids getting shot up at elementary school.
Right.
But it's like, do we really want to take a drastic action on an emotional response and maybe cause more problems in the future?
I mean, everyone's going to be hurt in some way or another, whether
Right.
it's from the gun itself or because they're upset that their rights were taken away. So I don't know what's worse,
Yeah.
or like taking away rights or taking away life. It's
And that's a
just
good way
like
to put it,
they
yeah.
go hand in hand with each other, and unfortunately, it's just the situation that we're in right now.
million?
Yeah, 300 million. So we have a population of 360 million, and that number is a little over 300 million, and it could be more with like illegal guns and that kind of stuff. But we're wondering, for that population and for this country, from like a foreign perspective, do you think that number is too high?
That's astronomical.
Yeah.
It's huge. Personally, I don't see many guns in Ireland or England because they're not a typical thing to see.
Mm-hmm.
You need to go to a gun show or something, but you hear scary stories about kids having found guns or something, and they've ended up shooting
Right.
siblings
Yeah, exactly.
and killing them.
Yeah.
And
There
that
is-
is scary.
Yeah, that's a problem here too. It's not so much as a problem, but it does happen.
Yeah.
But would you be interested in seeing like less, like less gun control or more gun control in that sense? And does that mean like maybe stricter gun laws on like sales?
It's hard. How do you control it? Like if you've 360 million or whatever you said guns, and people still have that want to do it, then you can't really stop them because
Right.
again, America is renowned for its liberation, its ability for people to do whatever they want. But
Yeah.
at the same time, you need to have some sort of control.
It kind of goes hand in hand because it's
Yeah.
like if you want to control that regulation, it's like okay, but then are we taking Americans' rights to protect their house? Or
Yeah.
it's a tricky subject, I guess. Would you like to see less gun violence, and then the gun control can stay where it's at, kind of?
Well, you need to ask the question, what's the guns for? Like back in England, you have ranges where you can go shooting, and you're only allowed to have your guns in them areas.
At the range.
You shouldn't, you're not allowed to carry a gun in and around the streets. So maybe that's where you could go. Taking the liberation of holding firearms in public places.
Right.
But it's what is it aiming to stop? Like is
True, because when I bring this up, it's like people say more gun control, more gun regulations, but criminals are not really, adherent to the law, so
Yeah.
they're not purchasing these weapons legally.
Yeah,
They're
exactly.
usually getting them off the street. So, in my eyes, even though I'd like to see less mass shootings, it's like you're only taking the guns away from law-abiding citizens. Like, I wouldn't
Exactly.
be able to purchase a pistol or a shotgun or an assault rifle, but if I was a criminal, I could get that off the street relatively easily.
exactly, and that's the loophole. That's where the downfall is. It's the guns are in the wrong hands,
Right, exactly.
and how do you stop that?
That's what essentially it's like. There might be more factors to this. There might be there's a mental aspect to this. There's a criminal aspect to this. But I guess that's where we got to find the balance. It's like I don't know what the laws are in Ireland. Is gun regulation pretty heavily there, or are they banned?
You have to have a license.
You have to have, but you can own a gun.
You can own one, but
Right.
you have to. The purpose of it, they're very strict. Basically, you can buy a gun, but it is very strict, and
Right.
that's what you're using it for. Like there's people that have them for clay pigeon shooting.
Right.
But
Hunting,
they're-
that kind of stuff.
Not really
Not really.
hunting. You do some rabbit shooting, but that's illegal. You're not allowed
Yeah.
to do that. But there's still people that go and do it. They
Right.
go out at night time and they bring torches and they do shooting. It's the same in Australia where they go out and they shoot.
I guess if you're going to do
kangaroo.
illegal activity, it's going to be illegal regardless
Exactly.
of what the crime is. And how do
Exactly.
you stop any of it? Like we can throw murder and assault and all this other stuff in the bag too. But I guess if we don't conflate those two, like the gun is essentially the tool. It's in whose hands it is, and
Yeah.
that's where we got to draw the line. Find out who those people are, or maybe minimize the potential
Yeah.
situation. But
That's the main issue really, and I don't see it as an issue having a gun, but it's what you're
Your
using a
intention.
gun for.
exactly, yeah,
Like if you're using it for sport, that's fair enough. That's your sport.
right. To defend your house.
I'm not backing it because I don't think shooting animals for no reason is a thing. But each people to their own, and
Yeah.
like we've come from being barbaric and shooting each other. So
Yeah.
how that's changed in wars and everything. So
As long as we're no longer hunting each other, right? Then
exactly.
pretty much just
as long as we're not shooting each other.
yeah.
I feel like there are issues that don't really have clear-cut answers, and instead of people being okay of various groups having diverse perspectives.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
just being non-tolerant of what other people think. So
That's what we got to do. I mean, like, me and you can sit down here and talk all day and maybe come up to a conclusion, but we're not at each other's throats, you know? We're not,
Exactly.
hey, you're a dummy for thinking this. It's like, we both don't know, and there's a lot of factors, and there's a lot of
Exactly.
and I haven't led your life. I could be like a kid in an urban environment where a gun is mainly like the only way to defend myself, but
exactly.
it doesn't justify the means anyhow.
Yeah, like you could, think one way about abortion. I could disagree with you, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna disrespect you and tell you
Exactly.
that your point of view is stupid.
That's no way to live,
It's-
especially as citizens in the same country, right?
Exactly. Like I feel like Americans, we all come from all, different parts of the world, and that's the beauty of America. We have diverse opinions and perspectives, and I think people need to learn how to respect each other's, values.
Yeah.
So.